Salutations. I just came back from the gym and I'm drinking some good old protein shake in my mug. But it was cloudy and I wrote some poetry in my journal, but I decided to look through my old journal instead. I don't know if y'all can hear my parents in the background, but we're going to ignore that. We're going to read, well, I'm going to read to you um, my old journal entry from November 14th of last year. Entry number 61. Friday, 6:12 a.m. I awake from another poetic and symbolic dream. This time I was in an open field. The clouds were littered with a golden and pinkish hue. The sun was setting. All my friends from upstate Florida were playing tag, and others were sitting on the field, eating, drinking, or just singing along. I don't know why, but it made me laugh. I was having the most refreshing conversation with the most randomest person ever. We'll name her um, S. She had all blonde hair. It was dyed, dressed in clothes that spoke of gym goer, but it was laid back. Large shirt with shorts, gray and red, possibly from a school. She still had her glasses on and wore a black bracelet on her left arm. S and I were discussing about the events of our lives. We shared our stories until nightfall. It was a tender reunion between two acquaintances. I never personally knew her back in high school. She was friends with M, a mutual friend. In the dream, we spoke about our destinations, where we want to end up in life. Our conversation was abrupted when T tried to hit me with a wet, rolled up towel, a sort of game he was playing. I heard music in the distance, a piano. I gazed at the horizon and saw another friend, R, playing on it. The field turned into a cemetery, and I found myself at the Day of the Dead festival. Orange flowers, white skulls, people dressed in black. Despite this sudden shift, I felt joy and content in my heart. A festival honoring the dead. How memorable and beautiful that is. 8:20 a.m. Walked on the beach. I arrived at dawn and sat upon the shore. Or spoke about my friends, lives, family, and a lot of symbolism. It was pleasure at its most finest form, sitting at the beach. This memory will be recorded forever. What a good leisure activity on a Friday morning. Freedom, freedom, freedom. A free kingdom. I don't know what that means. I really don't. I mean, lately, this past week and a half, I've been jotting down my dreams. Um, a lot of my dreams have been symbolic, poetic, and I try to make sense of them as I go along, but I don't know. I can remember my dreams in great detail. I try not to take them too literally, but I am a psychologist and a philosopher, and I have great interest in Carl Jung. So I think studying my dreams and what they mean kind of helps me a little bit. Um, I think it leads to a path of truth. It leads to a path to the truth that if I am active and aware of what my unconscious is saying or telling me, then I can go down the path or follow the hints to a better path that I am certain in, that I can take confident, take confidence in. Um, it's pretty interesting. I just wanted to say that part. Um, this one is later in the day, same day but later at 8:58 p.m. Among the ashes rises the phoenix, ever brighter and stronger than before. Courage is required to accept the gentleness of life. Scars fade, wounds heal. For once in a long while, my mind is empty. No waters to draw from, no wind to listen for. I have nothing to write about tonight. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to write the most soul touching, mind altering piece of work ever. I'm going to composite and translate the contents of my soul into a novel. a dream made into reality. I'm going to translate my insanity into a meditative personal epic. The story within my mind will be made real. The vision will change the course of humanity. My fire will be used to burn an entire forest down and leave behind a rich soil that will bring new life. Create new life through the act of writing and watch it grow into something grand, something new, something hopeful and inspirational. I write with the intention of creating a new person. A new man will rise every time I write in this journal. I describe the thoughts he has, the emotions that stirs within his heart. Each color pen is the temperature of his soul. Each paragraph is a story, a universe, a poet, a poem, a lyrical inventor. Every time I write in this journal, in any journal, a new person rises from the ashes. This new person who rises from the ashes is Stenley Jean Charles, a part of Stenley that was undiscovered until now. He enters the world with courage and faith in his heart and intends to live, love, and die with these feelings till the end. I am Stenley, and I've encountered many parts deep within. Journaling is my laboratory, and I am the scientist. I rip the contents of my soul, inspect each fragment to understand the fundamentals to my being. There is one certainty to all this. Every time a writing utensil is picked up with my scarred right hand, an indescribable expression is translated. How you read it is how you feel now. My writing is a reflection of deep space. An indescribable expression is translated each time I write. A new Stenley emerges from the ashes every time the journal is closed. A new page is undiscovered. A new page is the undiscovered, fragmented, and authentic individual who is radioactive. My journal is My journal is a highly radiated laboratory. Intense radiation of authenticity comes from an atomic core. The core having no off switch, only states of coolness and hotness. My authentic presence is radioactive, and the core has only one protective barrier: the body. Created by God, for he was the one who placed this highly radioactive, intensely dangerous, and rare soul, the atomic core of authenticity. Writing is how I detect the temperature of my soul, and once I complete my scientific process of introspection, a new Stenley emerges and enters the world. With a fortified, cosmically imbued pen, writing is the reflection of deep layered self. No, writing is the reflection of the deep layered self. Expression and translation of my soul happens here. I write in deep ocean blue. Sometimes I look at my journal entries, I don't think I make any sense, but in the moment it made sense. But for when I translate the indescribable expression, I add another undiscovered fragment to my already formed yet cracked inner self. A piece of a broken mirror that has been found, but not without the cost of slicing my hand and adding another drop to the ocean. The deep sea I do not fear, but witnessing the ocean turning crimson red and diluting the self to a dark, doubtful, and cold creature. That is what I fear. Suffocating in a sea of blood made by me, for I have no enemies, and turned the weapon on myself. How can I ask God for forgiveness when I scarred myself 3 times? How can I show myself joy when I am surrounded by people who are happily together, spiritually proud to sing and praise in church, live a life that is materially comfortable for them? I cry because I cry. My first act of courage and faith is to sever the harness attaching me to the gate of reality. Float, float, float for a long time. The distance between me and the cosmic is vast, but it shall be a start.